Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the international conference. Let me thank you for watching this video presentation about our research result. Our team from Communication Science Faculty, Universitas Islam Bandung or Unisba. On this occasion, allow us to present the result of research entitled
Student perception about the selective exposure of the anti-corruption campaign on Facebook. The theme of this research are Neni Yulianita, Anna Mariani, and Rita Gani,
which is submitted to the Social and Humanities Research Symposium or SORES 2020, organized by the Institute of Research and Community Service or LPPM Universitas Islam Bandung. Our presentation consists of the first is introduction, the second research methods, the third result and discussion, and the last conclusion. To begin with, let me start by giving you some background information.
As introduction, in Indonesia, there is still a lot of corruption. Corruption Eradication Commission in Indonesia, popular is KPK, which has been given extraordinary authority. However, in fact, Indonesia, including the most corrupt country in Asia in 2010, and occupied the 100 out of 183 countries, as has been reported by Transparency International. In this era of Industry 4.0, the government is determined to carry out good government and clean government as is often effort. And this is greeted enthusiastically by all levels of society. Anti-corruption education needs to be instilled from an early age so that the next generation of the nation has an anti-corruption spirit. And next, corruption eradication has become a government program since the enactment of Law Number 30 of 2002 concerning the KPK or Corruption Eradication Commission. And then KPK needs to manage creative campaigns. The ideal campaign is to attract public sympathy so that in the future they can make their choices. According to Arianto, were as follows: this model more emphasized the forms of creative campaigns such as video, music, games, application, and visual designs, which are supported by the information technology advance. Social media and anti-corruption campaigns. He states that anti-corruption campaign can be carried out using social media. The use of media in everyday life, especially digital media, is increasingly attracting attention due to the increasing opportunities created by today's media-saturated environment to encourage social participation. Facebook as tool of campaigns. One of the social media used to create anti-corruption campaign is using Facebook. Facebook is a social media that is very popular with the public across different social media platforms. The numbers of users are exceeding hundreds of millions and in some cases exceed the number of citizens in the world's largest country. Okay, next I would like to explain about the methods of this research. The research method used was descriptive analytical methods. The informant of this study are subjects who understand the information on the object of research. The object of research is the anti-corruption campaigns carried out by the Corruption Eradication Commission via Facebook. The population in this study were netizens from Facebook, sampling using the Slovene formula so that a sample of 200 Facebook netizens was obtained. The data collection technique was carried out by distributing questionnaires, observation, and literature study. Now, I would like to explain about result and discussion. Number one, respondents' response regarding the attractiveness to anti-corruption campaigns, information on the Corruption Eradication Commission in Facebook. For more detail, see the following chart. Most the respondents' response regarding the attractive of anti-corruption campaign information on the Corruption Eradication Commission's Facebook state it was interesting. This is a proof of the success of the Corruption Eradication Commission in packaging campaign messages on Facebook so that it attracts respondents' attention to receive messages well.
Next, I invite Dr. Anna Mariani will be presenting to next explain result and discussion. Please, Dr. Anna.
Thank you so much, Professor Nene Yulianita. I will continue to describe the results of the research. I will continue to describe the results of this research. Respondent response regarding the clarity of anti-corruption campaigns, information on the Corruption Eradication Commission Facebook. The research data shows that the message is partially clear, meaning that the message has been well managed and meets the requirements of clear message. An explanation of the nature of message in communication, which of course has an importance and relationship. Therefore, if there are still many respondents who answer that they don't know and are even less clear, then the condition for the message to be clear above need to be studied by the anti-corruption campaign managers. Respondent responses about anti-corruption campaigns information on the Corruption Eradication Commission's Facebook are as expected. Knowledge has indeed become something that must be instilled since childhood. The easiest thing that can be applied to add insight is by reading. Reading can provide various types of information that are very useful for everyday life. Respondents who state that it was appropriate had shown evidence that what the Corruption Eradication Commission campaigns for information on Facebook had shown a positive and serious reception to those who were exposed to the campaign message. Respondent response about the anti-corruption campaigns on Facebook. The Corruption Eradication Commission is in accordance with the Corruption Eradication Commission actions in eradicating corruption. In general, respondents answer that they didn't know about the appropriateness of the KPK efforts to eradicate corruption displayed on Facebook. The attitude of respondents when they heard and saw that a public official affected by a corruption case was displayed on Facebook. The data shows that respondents respond to this mostly feeling annoyed. Resentment is a bad feeling to hold on to. Resentment can mix anger and disappointment when seeing the form of violation. In this case, officials don't do corruption that can harm many people or society that occurs in Indonesia. Respondent response were about always reading news about corruption that was distributed by the Corruption Eradication Commission on Facebook social media. The most respondents said they rarely read. This means that the Indonesian people are still less aware of the efforts of the Corruption Eradication Commission to report important events related into acts of corruption that have been committed by public officials. Respondent response about having posted topics about corruption on social media, Facebook. It turns out that most of the respondents' answers have never posted the topic of corruption on Facebook. There are several reasons, including first, respondents don't have the awareness. Second, respondents consider that the act of posting corrupt acts by public officials was not their responsibility. Search respondents think that these activities are not important and don't solve the problem because they are not under their authority. The conclusion of the research. From the research conduct and accordance with the research questions reviewed by the research team, namely regarding selective exposure, it can be concluded that the selective exposure of students of Islamic universities and public universities regarding anti-corruption prevention campaigns in society. In general, there are still many who say they don't know, although there is still a balance of awareness and public attention related to anti-corruption campaigns related to acts of corruption. Thank you very much for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Every single day